Hello, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times. It's Thursday, September 4th. Let's start with truth in advertising. Tom Cotton and Mark Pryor, you've heard of them, they're running for U.S. Senate, have rolled out yet another new series of TV ads. Tom Cotton's one focuses on the fact that his mother, when she was a child, didn't have indoor plumbing. It's an old theme in Arkansas politics, ever popular. Remember Mike Huckabee's dirt floor house his grandmother lived in? But his two other ads are about how he's good for Medicare and Mark Pryor's not. There's no nicer way to put this. The ads are blatantly dishonest. They're lies. They're a pack of lies. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of factcheck.org or PolitiFact, which would look deeply into these ads and say that they're dishonest in nearly every respect. They've been used before, the same issues, and they keep running them. In other words, these are people that not only lie, they don't mind lying, and in the face of solid evidence that they're lying. Mark Pryor, on the other hand, is defending his votes on Medicare and health care, and again, in a backhanded way, defending his vote for Obamacare. So there's that. There's some truthfulness to that point of view. Also in the truth of advertising realm, there's been some great new fact-checking on the ads the Republican Party's running against Mike Ross over his supposed sweetheart deal to sell his pharmacy. It reveals that the ad is blatantly false. It's yet another outrageous lie, that the ad is based on the appraisal of essentially a crooked appraiser who lost his license for misrepresenting the situation about Mike Ross's drugstore. Again, I don't think it's going to cause the ad to be removed from the air. There is no shame in political advertising. In other news, a 22-year-old woman, Heather Cater, worked at a dental clinic in Little Rock, was killed when she left her work yesterday afternoon at her office on University Avenue as a result of undercover narcotics investigators from Pulaski County Sheriff's Office chasing somebody they thought had been involved in a drug deal. This is a terrible outcome of an undercover drug investigation. There's going to be more to be heard about that. Mark Darr, the former lieutenant governor of Arkansas, has paid up the $11,000 he owes the state for illegal expense reimbursements. Prosecutors are still taking a look on whether criminal charges are justified. Generally speaking, the state settles for getting its money back, but we won't forget Mark Darr. 11 arrests were made this morning in Little Rock by people protesting the rate of pay at fast food organizations. This was part of a national protest. They blocked the street so that they would be arrested. This also happened around the country. This guarantees a prominent spot on the evening news all across the country for union-backed workers who think they should get a living wage working at national chain restaurants. There's an interesting piece on our blog today that looks a little bit further at the University of Arkansas's record enrollment. It shows pretty starkly how the incredible increase in UA enrollment has been built on the backs of out-of-state students. More than double the growth can be put down. Let me start over again. 2 times the number of out-of-state residents and Arkansas residents account for the growth in UA enrollment over the last 8 years, and Texas leads the way, and Arkansas recruits heavily there. Why do Texans come to Arkansas? They get an in-state tuition. It's pretty simple. Jonesboro has a new police chief, Rick Elliott, a veteran of the force of 22 years. The Arkansas Education Association today endorsed John Burkhalter, the Democrat, for lieutenant governor. And finally, can we talk about men? They're sorry. Let's admit it, even though I am one. We did report late yesterday afternoon that Chris Peterson left his job as UALR athletic director because he'd been caught on an open microphone with some locker room kind of commentary about the physical beauty of the mother of a soccer player. Bad form. He apologized. We don't yet know if there are perhaps other things that contributed to the atmosphere at UALR that might have led to a resignation rather than a sharp discipline in some other form of punishment. But you know, men generally don't just mess up one time, they mess up a lot. This comes against a national backdrop of a GOP congressman having a fundraiser for men only, of Senator Kirsten Gillibrand talking about the ungentlemanly remarks she's received as a female senator. Men are just men, and it was terrible to read really some of the comments on the Arkansas blog from defenders of Chris Peterson saying, hey, men will be men, this is just what they do. That, of course, is the problem, and that's why women don't rise up in organizations in Arkansas like men do, and why until there's a change and until there's consequences for speaking out of school, it won't change. So I'm glad Joel Anderson moved aggressively as he's known for doing. I'm Max Brantley. That's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow.